This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is precisely 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Chandima Veerakorn. Headlines. The Port City Economic Commission draft bill passed in Parliament by a majority of 89 votes. The President emphasises that understanding and relations between South Asian countries should be enhanced. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. tomorrow. Immediate inquiry ordered into 400 employees of a garment factory being infected with COVID-19. In news overseas, Israel and Hamas continue to exchange fire. In sports news, it's cricket. The remaining matches of the Pakistan Super League will take place in the United Arab Emirates. Local stories in detail. The Port City Economic Commission draft bill was passed in Parliament today by a majority of 89 votes. 148 members voted for the draft bill, while 59 voted against the draft bill. Taking part in the debate, Minister Keheli Rambukwella said that the Port City will be a decisive factor in the country's future. Taking part in the debate, Minister Namal Rajapaksa said that the new transaction methods in the world will be implemented in the Colombo Port City. He said that there are about 5,000 such cities in the world and the government aims to bring it among the top 10 of those cities. He said that educational reforms will be implemented to provide knowledge for the youth to be able to get jobs that would be created through investments in the city. MP Rajitha Senaratne said that the Good Governance government solved environmental issues at the Port City. He said that all parties should get together and implement the project since it is a very important one. MP Anurakumara Disanayaka said it will create a group of citizens who would not belong to any city limits. He pointed out it will relax sovereignty of the country. Taking part in the debate, Minister Vimal Weeravansha said that it is a successful project which will bring foreign exchange and strengthen the economy of the country. He emphasized that Port City is a part of the country and not a separate state. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has emphasized that understanding and relations between South Asian countries should be enhanced by considering the COVID pandemic and its impact. The President mentioned this while joining over video technology the 26th International Summit on Asia's Future, which commenced this afternoon at Tokyo in Japan. The President said that a large number of human lives were lost due to COVID pandemic and it has had heavy impact on the world economy. The President pointed out that all communities should work with understanding and trust in a crisis situation such as this. Speaking on the Colombo Port City, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that new laws will be introduced for it to be attractive to investors and to make it easy to do business. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. tomorrow to 4 a.m. on Tuesday. Travel restrictions will be imposed again at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, covering the entire island. It will be removed at 4 a.m. on the 28th Friday. Only persons leaving for essential duties can leave their homes during that time. The public will not be able to leave homes during that period according to the last digit of their national identity card. Meanwhile, all economic centres will be closed from tomorrow to 24th Monday. On 25th at 4 a.m., all economic centres and Palliaguna Manning Market are scheduled to be opened. Therefore, all economic centres will be closed from 26th Wednesday to 28th Friday. The main office and regional offices of the Department of Immigration and Emigration will be closed from today until further notice. Labour Minister Nimal Siripala De Silva has ordered the Commissioner General of Labour today to to conduct an immediate inquiry into 400 employees of Tulhiria Mass Factory being infected with COVID-19. Employers and trade union leaders were continuously instructed to take steps to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Therefore, the minister pointed out it is a serious situation, such a large number of employees in a single factory getting infected. The Labour Minister has also instructed the Commissioner General of Labour to pay his attention on giving relief to pregnant women in private sector, similar to relief given to pregnant employees of the government sector. Commissioner General of Labour Prabhat Chandrakirti Silva said that he has requested private sector heads of institutions not to call pregnant mothers for duty. The Railway Department says that trains will not be operated on Saturday and Sunday. Deputy General Manager Gamini Senaviratna said that trains will be operated until 11 p.m. tomorrow as usual. All ambulances driven on expressways have been released from payments from today until further notice. Minister Johnston Fernando said that the Ministry Secretary would be given necessary instructions. Only the President and the Prime Minister can travel free of charge on expressways. The Minister said the decision was taken considering the pandemic situation in the country at present. The Attorney General has issued guidelines to the Inspector General of Police in connection with giving bail to persons imprisoned for some offences. The guidelines have been issued on request from the Secretary to the Ministry of Justice and Director General of Prisons Department. The aim is to minimise overcrowding at prisons in the wake of COVID pandemic. The National Eye Hospital has informed patients that a date and time have to be reserved before coming for treatment. Several special telephone numbers have been introduced in this regard. The National Eye Hospital has said that it is not essential to arrive at the National Eye Hospital since eye clinics are being maintained at hospitals in all districts. Information on telephone numbers can be obtained by logging into www.slbc.lk website of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Now, EPF information and services through an SMS from HDFC Bank.
Continuing with the local stories, health authorities say that although COVID virus can have several variants, it can be controlled under simple methodologies. Professor Neelika Malavige of Sri Javadanapura University said that the virus can be controlled by simple methods such as keeping social distance, wearing face masks and washing hands. However, she said that the virus is spreading since people do not follow such instructions. Director of the National Infectious Disease Hospital, Dr. Ananda Vijayavikrama, said that the country is at a decisive moment. Therefore, he requested the people not to leave their homes except for essential work and to follow health protective methods strictly. Health authorities have emphasized that the COVID vaccine has no impact on breastfeeding mothers. The Bishop of Gaul, Most Reverend Raymond Wickramasinghe, handed over a stock of medical supplies to Commander Southern Naval Area Rear Admiral Prasanna Hevage yesterday. These items will be used for the treatment of patients at the Intermediate Care Centre for COVID-19 managed by Sri Lanka Navy in Busa, Gaul. The consignment was handed over to Commander Southern Naval Area by Bishop of Gaul, Most Reverend Raymond Wickramasinghe, along with National Director of the Pontifical Mission Societies, Reverend Father Rohan Basil, at the official residence of the Bishop of Gaul. Rear Admiral Y.N. Jayaratne, who was recently appointed as the Deputy Chief of Staff of Sri Lanka Navy, called on Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugethanna, at the Navy headquarters today. Rear Admiral Y.N. Jayaratne was appointed Deputy Chief of Staff of Sri Lanka Navy with effect from yesterday, whilst he was holding the office of Commander Eastern Naval Area. Commander of the Navy handed over the letter of appointment in this regard to Rear Admiral Y.N. Jayaratne today. In addition to the appointment as Deputy Chief of Staff of the Navy, he will continue to discharge duties as Commander Eastern Naval Area as well. To end the local news, the headlines again. The Port City Economic Commission draft bill passed in Parliament by a majority of 89 votes. The President emphasises that understanding and relations between South Asian countries should be enhanced. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. tomorrow. Immediate inquiry ordered into 400 employees of a garment factory being infected with COVID-19. That ends the local news.
දැන් HDFC බැංකුවෙන් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් SMS එකකින්
රාජ්‍ය හා පෞද්ගලිකංශයේ රැකියාවේ නියුතු ඔබ කොහේ සිටියත් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා කළ යුත්තේ EPF හිස්තැනක් නම හා ප්‍රදේශය සඳහන් කර 071 SMS එකක් එවීම පමණයි.
HDFC බැංකුව ඔබ අප සුරකින්න බැංකුව.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Cabinet has approved to issue a new set of guidelines to purchase vaccines, medical equipment and other essential items soon due to the pandemic. Accordingly, the new set of guidelines has been issued amending the present procurement methodology. The objective is to get essential items needed by health authorities, Defence Ministry and their affiliated state ministries without a delay. That ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the University Grants Commission says that accepting of applications to admit students to universities for 2020-2021 academic year will commence tomorrow. Applications of students who sat for the GCE Advanced Level Examination last year should be sent online to University Grants Commission. Applications will be accepted until the 11th of June. That ends Watchlight. We move on to world news. The headlines. Israel and Hamas continue to exchange fire. The US is to build on agreements with North Korea. Japan expected to approve 2 more coronavirus vaccines. Fierce fighting continues between the Israeli military and the Palestinian militant group Hamas as negotiations for a ceasefire are underway behind the scenes. The Israeli military carried out airstrikes on Hamas strongholds today, while ground troops deployed outside the border with the Gaza Strip fired artillery shells toward the enclave. The fighting has claimed 227 lives in Gaza and 12 in Israel. A senior U.S. government official says the Biden administration intends to build on the Singapore agreements of 2018 in its policy toward North Korea. The official made the remarks during a teleconference yesterday. The Biden administration recently completed a review of U.S. policy on the North. The senior official said the administration's policy aims to explore diplomacy with North Korea in order to make practical progress that increases the security of the United States. An expert panel to Japan's health ministry is to decide whether to approve the use of 2 more coronavirus vaccines today. The panel will look at one manufactured by U.S. pharmaceutical company Moderna and another by British pharmaceutical AstraZeneca and Oxford University. Sources say the ministry is poised to approve both of them. Both vaccines are currently administered overseas. The ministry is likely to approve the use of both vaccines for people aged 18 or older. To end the world news, the headlines again. Israel and Hamas continue to exchange fire. The US is to build on agreements with North Korea. Japan expected to approve 2 more coronavirus vaccines. That ends world news. We move on to development news. Sri Lanka at 100, with support from the United States, hosted a public webinar featuring Paul D. Roberts, an expert in methods for companies and entrepreneurs to leverage evolving technologies such as artificial intelligence to drive accelerated business growth. Attended by 300 participants, the session focused on how businesses can shape Sri Lanka's economic future in a complex and rapidly changing environment. United States Agency for International Development Deputy Mission Director for Sri Lanka and Maldives, Deborah Mossel, said, "The concept of exponential growth is critical in helping Sri Lanka achieve high income status so it can better compete on the world stage." SL at 100 co-founder and Stax managing director Ruvinda Pires emphasized the vital importance of programs such as this to help build Sri Lanka's future. SL at 100 is a private sector-led business development platform that was launched in 2020 with support from USAID. That ends development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Taking a look at sports news, it's cricket and football. On cricket news, the remaining 20 matches of the Pakistan Super League will take place in the United Arab Emirates when the tournament resumes in June. The 2020 event was halted in March after 7 cases of coronavirus were reported within the competition bubble. It was set to resume in Karachi but will now take place in Abu Dhabi after the Pakistan Cricket Board were granted an exemption. The PSL will restart on 1st June with the final on 20th June. And on news from football, Manchester City defender Ruben Diaz has been named Men's Footballer of the Year by the Football Writers Association. The 24-year-old Portugal international was signed by City for about £65 million from Benfica last summer. He has helped the club win the Premier League and Carabao Cup, as well as reach the final of the Champions League, in which they will play Chelsea. That ends sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table, even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka High Commission in South Africa initiated a new series of business-to-business meetings in collaboration with the Department of Commerce and the Exports Development Board of Sri Lanka to find new opportunities for the Sri Lankan exporters in the new normal post-COVID situation. Chamber of Commerce in Durban, South Africa, joined hands with the mission to facilitate conducting a series of business-to-business meetings with special attention to coconut products, rubber products, cosmetic and Ayurveda products, electrical and electronic installation equipment. That ends business news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news courtesy of... I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And on economic news, Ambassador Dr. Palitha Kona attended the 5th Silk Road International Expo and China East-West Cooperation and Investment and Trade Fair in Xi'an, Shaanxi Province recently. Dr. Kona, in his speech, stated that with the wider deployment of e-commerce, China's neighbors would find greater opportunities to access the lucrative Chinese market. However, he said China would need to take proactive measures to facilitate the entry of developing countries to China's market space. That ends economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And finally on the weather report, the Met Department says showery condition over southwestern part of the island and the windy condition over northern and northwestern provinces are likely to enhance during the next few days. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle, Mathura and Puttalam districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in eastern and Uva provinces during the evening or at night. That ends the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And to end this bulletin of news, the headlines again. The Port City Economic Commission draft bill passed in Parliament by a majority of 89 votes. The President emphasises that understanding and relations between South Asian countries should be enhanced. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. tomorrow. Immediate inquiry ordered into 400 employees of a garment factory being infected with COVID-19. In news overseas, Israel and Hamas continue to exchange fire. In sports news, the remaining matches of the Pakistan Super League will take place in the United Arab Emirates. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.